Hey, what's up guys? Marc here, back with another video, time-lapse. Today we're going to be talking about the realities of being an artist working for a studio. But before I go more into that, let me explain to you what is going on, in the background of this. So this is going to be a sort of the first half of a painting I'm working on right now. It's going to be black and white only. So I'm starting something a little bit different than I do usually, where I would start with the colors. Once in a while, I try to do this to, get me out of my comfort zone. I really don't like this process, but it's always good to struggle a little bit. So yeah, I'm gonna start with the line art, and then I'm gonna take this into ZBrush a little bit more to work on the background, and then that's going to be pretty much it for that. And I'll be doing the colors in the next video. But now back to the topic. So there are three things I want to cover today. The first one is relocation. That's something that nobody tells you really, but it is something you most likely will have to do at some point in your career, if not multiple times, because that's how it goes. There's pretty much two big video games and film hubs in the world, and that is Montreal, Canada, and LA in the United States, in California. And aside from that, there's obviously a bunch of other studios scattered all over the world. And if you want to check out the studios that are out there, there's a really cool website. It's called gamedevmap.com or .org or whatever. You can Google that, and you'll see pretty much all the studios in the world. But the biggest ones, and basically the ones that pay the most, are in these two big cities. So if you ever get to work for a very, very big studio, there's a high chance you'll have to relocate if it happens to be in those two cities. And also as a result, you probably have to learn English, because that's those are the languages spoken there. So couple things to keep in mind. If you've been thinking only about art, it's good to think about this kind of stuff, because that's reality, and that's what's probably going to happen. So if you have really, really strong ties to your hometown and you never want to leave, and there's no game studios in there, or video or film studios or whatever, yeah, might not be for you. The second thing I wanted to talk about, other than relocation, is the actual amount of positions that are available in the world, and you would be really surprised there aren't that many. A good friend of mine, Jacques Choi, did this sort of survey, and to find out basically how many art positions are available in the industry. And I think the result, without having the exact numbers, I think if I'm being generous, it was around maybe 1,000 in-house positions. So I'm not talking about outsourcing studios here. I'm just talking about if you work at EA, if you work at Ubisoft, whatever. All the studios in the world, there are around 1,000, more or less, a few hundreds, if you want to do that way, positions available. So, and most of them obviously are taken, because taken by people like me. So that's when you think about it this way, and you're in school and you look at your class, and there's maybe at your school there's 100 students, and this is obviously not the only school in the world. There's many more. It's good to have this sort of perspective where the sort of the schooling system is producing way too many students, way too many art students. And the sad part is that the majority of those people are never going to get jobs, just because there simply isn't enough. So you really have, if you choose this path, as a career, you really have to work on it nonstop. You have to spend insane hours to master your craft. So that you are at the top of this this huge amount of people that are looking for the same job as you are. So yeah, another thing to keep in mind, there aren't that many jobs out there, unfortunately. And then the third thing I wanted to talk about is the money. So a lot of people are wondering, you know, if I'm an artist, am I gonna be poor my entire life, or you know, if I just get a job tomorrow without having any experience, you know, if I'm out of school and I find a job tomorrow, how much do I expect to make? And you know, down the line, a couple years from now, how much should I be making? And that's I mean, a lot of people have the same question, and it's a little bit more it's a bit complicated to answer that particular question, just because it varies so much per studios, per location in the world, obviously. But basically the main thing is it goes back to what I was saying at the beginning of this video, which was the two main hubs for this industry are in Montreal and LA, and those are the places where you'll find the most money. That pretty much comes down to that. You know, if you're a freelance artist, like I said, you can make infinite money because you charge whatever you want, and you know, you can charge as much as your client is willing to pay. So that's something different. But in-house positions, this is where the money is, basically. So that's something to keep in mind. But before even worrying about all that, the main, I guess the main thing is how much you make when you're out of school, you know, as a junior. Entry level positions for 3D artists, concept artists, animators, generally, at least in US dollars. I don't know about other currencies, but as in US dollars, you know, in Canada and the United States, generally it'll be somewhere in between 30 grand to $45,000 a year. And when you begin, there's you'll have most likely to do a lot of overtime. A lot of studios, unfortunately, they are a little bit shady when it comes to overtime, where they either will not pay you or they will you know, pay you in vacation time off, but it's very rarely directly paid when you do overtime, at least when you begin. And but yeah, so and after that, you know, once you get your foot in the door, what can you expect? You know, a couple years down the line, salary wise, that is very that's 100% linked to how good you get, basically. So if you get real good, you'll be making a lot of money, and that's, I'm talking about 6 figures here, and that's, you know, that's not unheard of and far from it. But the same, you know, if you've been in the industry for the same amount of time, but you haven't improved enough, you got a little bit lazy or whatever, you could easily be making half the money that the other person that's been working his ass off is making, you know, after the same amount of time. So it's very important to understand that once you get in, you have to keep pushing, and, you know, keep motivated. Otherwise you're not gonna make a very comfortable living. But hey, if you do, you will live pretty good life. And but yeah, so again, you know, if you're in school, things to keep in mind. You probably will have to move at some point in your life, because unless you work at the same studio for your entire life, which is strange, but some people that's their thing. Unless you're that guy, you'll most likely have to move to a different location. So be ready for that. That is going to happen, and you know, like myself and a bunch of other people I know, at least pretty much everybody I know, it happens a couple times during your career. Also, the amount of jobs that are out there is those are very limited, like I said. So keep working hard, and you really need to be at the top of your class. Just there's a lack of demand and lack of positions available. So another thing to understand. And last thing, money, like I said, like we just talked about. If you're really good, you'll make really good money. If you're bad, you'll make bad money. That's just how it goes. And yeah, guys. So, you know, if your parents keep telling you that artists, if you choose the path of an artist, you'll be poor your entire life, well, you can tell them that they're wrong, and that if you get really good, you'll be making really good money. Yeah, hopefully that answered a couple of your questions. Keep asking. I'll try to keep answering them as much as I can in these types of videos. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy that, and look forward to the next video where I finish this painting here that I am just about done doing from now. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe, and have a good day.